In this video, we are going to give you 20, yes, 20 RV do's and don'ts. You're gonna wanna take notes, hold on tight. This is gonna go fast. Let's jump right in. So make sure that the breaker is turned off at the pedestal when arriving to a campground, and make sure to use a surge protector. Bad things can happen if there is an electrical problem at the campground pedestal to your RV. Protect your investment with that couple $100 with a quality surge protector. Don't unplug from your shore power if the ACs in your RV are still on. Now, likewise, make sure that you plug into shore power and give it a few minutes first before you turn your ACs on. RV electrical can be a really interesting animal, and you've got to give things a little bit of time for that electricity to flow and for things to get set correctly. So if you unplug while the ACs are running, could cause issues. And then same in reverse, you want to plug in, let that electricity, make sure that it's there and available before you flip on those ACs or any other high-powered electrical devices. Get things up and off of counters when you can. We like to use wooden boxes mounted to the walls of the RV. My IKEA rack is another favorite. Don't leave your waste tank valves open. You want to keep those closed at all times unless you are actively dumping the tanks. Now, occasionally we do leave our gray valve open if we're doing like laundry that day or something where we know that gray tank's going to fill up pretty dang quickly. But best practice, keep those tank valves closed unless you're actively dumping. Carry a spare one of these. Now, it's a good idea to have multiple sewer hoses on hand because you never know how far away that the sewer hookup is going to be from where your RV sits in the campsite. But more importantly, avoiding a poopsie, which we actually had happen. Yes, we've had a sewer hose break on us.
I'm glad there's a breeze out today because I had my first little poopsie.
And so you want a spare in the event, the very unfortunate event, that a poopsie occurs. Maximize every bit of storage space that you can. RV cabinets are the biggest culprit for this, so installing things like wire racks or looking for ways to be able to utilize all of that storage versus part of that storage is an absolute do. Don't leave your awning out when you leave the campground. Now, wind sensors, rain sensors, all of that aside, if a sudden gust of wind comes up, you can't really trust those sensors or rely on those. So if you're leaving your RV for the day, bring that awning in. So don't put out your slides until your RV is completely level. Putting slides out when the RV is not level can cause a host of problems that you just do not want to have on the road. So make sure that that RV is level before putting out slides, but also when you're bringing them back in, don't do anything with your levelers until those slides are back in. Levelers come up last. Know the height of your RV and then put that on a label somewhere where it's very easily visible when you're driving. We recently were at a campground in Nebraska that there was actually a right way and a wrong way to come into the campground. And if you did not have an RV specific GPS, it would bring you in the wrong way and our RV would not have fit under this particular bridge. So thankfully, we used the RV GPS and got that sticker right there. In a high pressure situation, you don't always remember how tall your RV really is. Don't neglect your RV tires. Now, these things should be inspected and then replaced a minimum of about every 10 years, according to DOT regulations, in some cases sooner. We actually did replace our tires when they were about 7 years old due to some weather cracking on the sidewalls. Another thing we do to help protect these from UV light and make them last as long as possible is keeping them covered if we're going to be parked for more than about a week at a time. So do utilize a label maker when you're living the RV life. This comes in handy for so many things. We talked about making a label to put the height on your dash, but also being able to put in other bins where maybe it's not so easy to see what's in those bins. It can just help you stay more organized when you're living life on a smaller scale. Don't just throw hand towels through the loop because they probably end up on the floor during a travel day. Better bet is to go ahead and loop them through like this. They're safe and secure when they're kind of tied on. Do use Release Cleaner. Now, we've recently been introduced to this cleaner called Release by SideQuest, and one of the things we love about this cleaner is that it can be used on everything in and around the RV. So not only on things like countertops and tables, but even outside of the RV. Now, if you're an RV traveler like we are, you know that there are some areas of this country that are just more buggy than others. And bugs are like goo on the front of the RV, and we are loving this Release Cleaner to be able to keep the outside of our RV nice and clean. Now, Release has been used in the aviation industry for a long time, so it's definitely a high-tech all-surface cleaner and degreaser, and it has no odor unlike other cleaners. It's non-toxic, so if one of the kids or the dogs comes into contact with it, no problem. It's also biodegradable and made here in the USA, which is something that's important to us when we choose a cleaning product. And we have been loving the Release Cleaner when cleaning around the Glamper hideaway as well. Now, when you buy a gallon of the concentrate, it makes just 80 of these bottles at only $1.12 per bottle. Now, that's cheaper than what you can buy a bottle of cleaner for at the Dollar Tree. You can visit gratefulglamper.com/release and use the code GRATEFUL to save 10% off your purchase, or visit the link in the description below. And a huge thanks to SideQuest and Release for sponsoring this video. Do keep some extra parts on hand. Number one being some fuses. Another thing we carry a spare of is actually a water pump. You would be surprised how often that these actually do go out, especially if you use it a lot in a boondocking situation. So carrying some extra spare parts, extra fuel filter if you drive a diesel, definitely a must. Don't just use plastic bins in your organizing. Get yourself some flexible storage bins as well. Now, these ones that I made actually using Dollar Tree rugs have been a huge hit. I'll have a link for that video below with a step-by-step tutorial for you. So do purge things that you don't use on a regular basis. So clothes you don't wear anymore, books that maybe you're not going to reread again, anything that you know you're not going to keep using, get rid of it. Don't plan your first trip cross-country in a new-to-you RV, but do plan a shakedown trip. So take that first trip in a new-to-you RV somewhere that's maybe just a couple hours away from a safe zone. If you have any issues or anything like that, you know that you've got a safety net of either friends or family that are available to come help if something doesn't go quite right. Do have fun. Make those memories, and remember, do prioritize experiences over things. To take notes, because we're gonna move fast. Hold on. Or around the campground. We'll see you in the next. Why can't I talk? We're gonna move fast. You better hold on to your pants or something. What's that saying? It's like, you better hold your Coke. I don't know. So I'm gonna put a video right up here with some things you should never, ever, under no circumstances do while you're staying at an RV campground. You're gonna wanna take a look at that. If we don't see you out on the road or around the campground, we'll see you in the next video.